Hello, my name is Skylar Taylor, and I did my project on the historical changes in Florence, as you see by the title. Now, I couldn't get it to work that well on my computer screen for it to be visual to the camera, so I had to put it on my TV. I'm going to try to keep it as visible on the camera as possible, but scrunched up just a little bit because my TV resolution. But let's get right into it. So I conducted my project on downtown Florence, mostly around the area of the Shoals Theater and places around there. Florence was founded in 1818 after the city of Florence in Italy. The city of Florence has some historical values, such as the W.C. Handy Memorial House in downtown Florence and the Shoals Theater that used to be home to many plays back in the day. There were many sources of information online that I found towards my research for this project. And there are many old photos of Florence on social media, websites, and I took a class back in high school on the history of Florence and learned a lot from the city historian. So in this first picture here, I'm gonna try to keep it as visible as possible. These first set of pictures, there's not really much difference other than the resolution of the camera and maybe some curb appeal, like the trees planted and there's a light pole there now. But this is of the Shoals Theater, and as you can see, this is obviously the older picture is taken in 1948. This one's in 2020, and it looks like basically the only thing that's changed is they added some scenery and curb appeal, and they probably repainted the outside bricks of the Shoals Theater. And down here in this section here, you can see there's a line of stores, and when they're in this picture in the very far corner, you can't see that well, but it looks like they extended it maybe, or maybe that's just a store there that's taken up the space of two of them. And in the second set of photos, this is the South Hall drugstore. It used to be, now it's a Wells Fargo. But in this picture here, you can see there's a good bit of difference between these two pictures. In this picture here, there's a corner on this side, a sharp corner. It goes around, it says South Hall Drugs on it. It says South Hall Drugs up there too. And on this picture, they've added awnings to the bottom and changed the doors and the windows touching the ground. And they took down the drug sign up there, so it just says South Hall. And it also, they rounded off the corner there, going around the building. It says Wells Fargo, so now it's a bank. And these set of photos here, this is just, I believe this is on Court Street in downtown Florence, or Tennessee Street 1. This one was taken in the early 1900s. This picture, I couldn't really get an exact date on it. And so it just said early 1900s. So in this picture here, they've built the buildings up a little bit more just to add more space for the businesses in there. And that was also taken in 2020. This picture here is the oldest picture I could find in Florence, was in 1901, which used to be the courthouse. And these two pictures have probably the most differences in the whole poster. This courthouse here, it didn't take up near as much room as this one. This one looks like it's built out all the way out to the road basically. And this one has more shrubs and scenery out beside it. And so they had to rebuild it in this form to make more room for offices and stuff like that, and more room for courtrooms and more parking, obviously. And so there's not near as much scenery out there, but there is just a little bit on the curb. So it's almost out to the road, but not quite. And this graph here shows the historical housing units in Florence, Alabama. And from 1970 all the way up to 2015, it's cut off the screen just a little bit because my TV resolution is risen probably really close to over halfway. So it went from 10K in 1970 and to 20K in 2015. And so that is all for my presentation.